We have two enemies. We have the outside enemy, and then we have the enemy from within. And the enemy from within, in my opinion, is more dangerous than China, Russia, and all these countries. Two enemies. If you have a smart president, he can handle them pretty easily. The thing that's tougher to handle are these lunatics that we have inside. Adam Schiff, who's a total sleazebag, is going to become a senator. But I call him the enemy from within. I am your voice. I am your voice.
I have my own voice, thanks.
I am.
We are live. It is Monday, November 4th, 4 o'clock p.m. What is it, 11 o'clock p.m. in Paris, Kate?
It's 10.
10.
It's past my bedtime.
It is past Kate's bedtime. We're not going to make her do the monologue today. I'm going to do the monologue because I have something to say. Tomorrow is, of course, Election Day. It is also Guy Fawkes Day.
It's also your birthday.
It is also my 55th birthday. And I want to say that, there was that day that the meteor hit and wiped out all the dinosaurs, there was some T-Rex who went around with little arms like this, whose birthday it was. And all day, everyone was saying to him, happy birthday, Cassandra T-Rex. And he was saying that, forget about my fucking birthday. There's a fucking asteroid heading to Earth and it's going to wipe us all out. And everybody was saying to him, but it's your 55th birthday. Go eat a goat or something. I don't know what T-Rexes actually ate, but they wandered around like this.
They did eat the goat in that episode in Jurassic Park. They put the little goat out there. And
chomp, chomp, chomp.
Yeah. It's no.
And
Ben.
they went around but this one T-Rex, whose birthday it was, knew that, it didn't matter if he was 55 because the frickin' asteroid was going to strike the Earth. And that was, none of the 4-year-old boys who were obsessed with dinosaurs a million years later or 60 million years later were going to be but it was his birthday. They were all going to be the asteroid hit the, and so that is how I feel about my birthday tomorrow. I will point out one other important fact about tomorrow, which is that the British had their election on July 4th, and we had fireworks, and we are having our election on November 5th, and they are having fireworks because that's what they do on bonfire night. So we're not allowed to have fun anymore. We are allowed to maybe avoid an asteroid and have a first female president, but we are allowed to have fireworks in the UK. We are also allowed to have the last undecided voter in America, except that he hasn't shown up yet. He hasn't shown up yet. Oh, is he there?
No, I'm just going to yell at him on text.
Yeah, I mean, as you'll recall, Scott usually doesn't show up on time. So there he is. He's calling in with the question, I can't get in. Hello, Scott.
Oh my God, be still my heart. It's 2021 again.
It's 2020 here.
I can't get in. Oh, here's my outro music. Let me hold my iPhone up to my computer speaker.
So first of all, I would like to say welcome. Hello. It's great to be back. How long has it been? Has it been like a year and a half? When was the last time we did this?
I don't know. I do it pretty regularly. GDF, the cat eater, shows up reasonably regularly.
Cat eater? What is this, a new inside joke?
That's what it
I
says
don't know anything about what's going on. Cat eater? Oh, Genevieve, we can't let that go.
Well, I mean, we're
You're
we're
muted.
diversifying. Oh,
Oh no, you're not. Sorry, you were just delayed. Sorry, I fucked it up.
no, it's
Sorry.
okay.
No, you know, GDF shows up periodically, Kate shows up periodically, but Scott, we've felt left out because you have not joined us at all.
Yeah, I
I did
And
not join.
our
by the way,
feelings are hurt.
I just really want to apologize by that for that, and it's really nothing about you guys. I just found a much cooler Zoom show to be on.
I see.
The weight of the decision of which Zoom to join.
Do you want to know something funny that happens to me now? Which is that like people in my life that happen to know Ben in various ways in his professional capacity have Zoom meetings with him while he's in his hammock, and they're like, "Is he like? I don't understand his background.
Is he okay?
Is he like wrapped in a towel? Like I don't. Is that, like what? No, that's his Zooming hammock. Like, oh, don't you know that he Zooms from a hammock?
Yeah, but Kate even knows where I got it originally from.
I do. I know that you built the outbuilding to your house that it is like lives in. So, like,
well, that's true too. But
yeah.
But the original impetus for the hammock studio came from an episode of In Lieu of Fun where Jonathan Zittrain was the guest, and he was not sitting in his hammock, but he had a hammock in the background. And I said, that's awesome. I'm going to put a hammock and do all my Zoom meetings from it. And that's where it comes from.
I've mentioned a few things to Ben. Like I told him once about light as displayed as nuisance and also as protest. And he maybe took off with that. I
ran with that one.
And Molly Brady, God bless her, is the kind of like, I'm like, here's your Plan B thesis played out to a million. But anyways, yeah.
So Scott,
can I first of all
go ahead?
Yeah, so I want to know. So we, all four of us, and actually all whatever the hundreds of us, went through not just COVID, but the end of the Trump administration, the first Trump administration. And I want to, and we did this on January 6th. And how long did we continue the show into the Biden administration? Or was it like did we have any kind of
we scaled through some stupid YouTube page and find this out, or Michael Fromberger only kept at GitHub, but I don't actually know.
It went until the fall,
yeah,
but it was not
that year.
But it was not super regular. It wasn't every day after lockdown ended.
I think it ended. We off-ramped shortly after axe throwing in Brooklyn, which was like in August of of that year, if you remember.
We actually really do need to do a live show from the axe throwing place.
I'm moving back to Brooklyn very shortly, so that's not a problem. There's no axe throwing. All right. Paris, can you imagine?
The Parisians are so they have such like rods up their asses about axe throwing. It's it's really a problem.
Right. I now I'm remembering the axe throwing where I kept
you kicked ass.
Really? Yeah, you kicked ass. You kicked axe. Yeah.
Yeah, I kicked axe.
All right. So speaking of Scott kicking axe, as you all know, Scott has been working very hard on being a responsible citizen and thinking about making sure he makes his voting decision in an organized fashion. We are likely but not certain to be joined by Sarah Longwell at some point during the hour, who's going to conduct a one-person focus group with the last undecided voter. But Scott, I hear you've prepared a presentation for us on your thinking.
Yes, I not only have I prepared a presentation, I would just also say that I think it's actually going to be like a very powerful presentation. Not
If
only
you do
because
say so
I put a lot
yourself.
of thought into it, and there's just a lot going on, but I used AI.
Oh, good. Because you don't want ChatGPT merely to do your thinking for you, but to
Yeah,
vote for you too.
yeah, exactly.
So you'll see down below on the screen there's a share thing, and you can share your screen so that we can all steal your data and send it to the Chinese.
Okay, yeah, no, that no problem with that. I just was I was just should I do it now, or should I wait for Sarah, or because Sarah may
No,
not?
I think we can't assume. Sarah's really busy because she actually is like trying to prevent one of the candidates
she's like an actual election like professional.
Right. She was, on the
What do you
stage
think
with
I'm doing?
Kamala the other night. And,
I'm-
she's actually important. And so there's a chance she won't show up. So we should do the show as though there will be no Sarah. But then if she shows up, we'll go with that when it happens. So just take it away. The floor is yours. And we're gonna follow your lead here.
Okay, can I just say one thing, that I really do feel like there's a lot of things that I'm going to bring up that a lot of people, I think, are in a lot of people's minds. I'm going to be like I don't know, like a conduit for a lot. I'll be speaking for a part of America, and a part of America that doesn't normally get heard from. So I think it's actually very upsetting that Sarah would not try to get us over the line. I mean, is it the most important election of our lifetime? Or is it just when we can fit it in? I'm just kind of grossed out by this whole thing. But let me just.
I mean, it's a serious point.
Whatever. Just. Okay. Let me start. I'm in a bad mood already. Okay. Let me go. Okay.
And remember, people, when Scott can't share his screen, just remember that tech issues are part of the show. And so this is actually a fun.
Is this going to end up being like you holding your iPhone up to the
yeah. I mean, all I'm trying to do is find
the button to share.
It's down at the bottom. It says share on it.
Okay.
It's next to leave.
Is the window that I'm supposed to click on the one that has Kate yawning? Or is it another one?
Yeah.
No,
the one with Kate yawning is the right one.
Okay.
All right.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Click add subtitle. What's your subtitle?
Why I like Donald Trump. Does that need more explanation?
Maybe it's
it says click to add subtitles, so you don't want to not do what it says.
Is it? I'm gonna stop. Okay, I just stopped sharing. Is this going to be a safe space, or is this going to be like your little kind of gang up, like clicky gang up on me thing?
No. It's very safe. Besides, you have ChatGPT on your side.
Okay. Can I just say one thing? I'm gonna. Okay. So I would like to remind everyone last time what I went back and I looked up what I was unsure about, undecided about last time, and I just want everyone to see that in many ways I think that my concerns have stayed the same. Okay, so let me. Do you mind if I just share?
Yeah, no, share your screen.
Yeah. I'll be quiet. Sorry, Scott.
Okay.
It's taken you long enough. We can't see your screen.
Can you hear this?
I can hear you. I just can't see anything that you might be sharing.
What?
I really love the commitment to the
I
bit that
can't.
we've
Can
had
anyone
over
hear?
5 years.
Wait, can anybody hear that? What I was
The
doing?
tech problems.
Did anybody hear that?
No.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
I will. I will get. I will get it. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. No, it's not the right one.
Okay, now we
shit.
can see it, and it's
Oh
going
my
into
God,
the
not
void.
again.
Yeah. You broke the internet again, Scott.
Okay. Okay. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna. Oh, here we go. Okay. Chrome tab. Select tab to share. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now we're doing it. Now we're going. Why won't that? Why won't that work? Select tab to share. This is so hard, guys.
Don't you run a tech company now these days,
I do
Scott?
run a company. But you know,
Okay, there we go. All right,
No.
so now we've.
No, okay. I'm gonna. So,
Maybe
how do
you'll
I
just
do
do
that,
it
Ben? How do
orally.
I do? Oh, I know how to do it. I know how to do it. I know how to do it.
Do you have like
I'm gonna use
flashcards? What? Why
No,
do
I'm gonna
you
use.
on?
Here we go. Here we go.
This is
Here we go.
Tom Brokaw.
This is, by the way, this seems like scintillating TV. I'm so sad that I'm not watching it. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go.
Still not seeing anything, Scott.
Oh, because now you're going to see it. Now you're going to see it.
He has concepts
Now,
of a
you see it?
presentation.
Oh yeah, there it is. We can see it.
That is your. Or that is. Oh look, I'm smoking a pipe. That's so endearing. Okay, I'm gonna
All right.
stop. What's going?
We're seeing it. We're not hearing it.
Oh, you don't hear it?
No.
Did you not hear that?
We didn't hear it.
Okay. Okay. So I will just tell you what happened. Okay. Basically, my main reason, I'm not actually happy about this, but apparently the main thing that I was most attracted to about Trump was his virility. So that's what was, and so I would just, so do you see, does everyone see?
Yeah, we see that. Yeah.
Okay. So look at this. Like,
Did
look
you
at
say
this
that
guy.
before? I don't remember being offended by that before.
What?
That
Sorry?
this was the reason you were attracted to Trump.
Well, I mean,
Oh my
I
God,
thought this
the
was
white
a safe.
shorts. Where did you find
I
that
thought this was a
picture?
safe. But this was a safe space.
Yeah. No, it's safe.
For Trump or for you?
Yeah, for me. Okay, so I would. So he's very virile. That's one thing. Okay, here's the next thing. Oh, like even Elon. Look how Elon responded to Donald. I mean, that's
yeah. You got to switch the slide though.
I did.
No,
You know
we're
what?
still seeing the viral slide.
I mean, he's the father of
what?
IVF. It's hard to switch.
Oh, there it switched. Wait, now it switched back.
Okay, can you see that?
Well, it says Trump is viral again. But yeah, now we got it.
Okay, so it's good to know that that technology has kept up in the couple of years that we've been doing this. Okay, so then the second main reason is we've all heard of America First. Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about Yale Law School first? Okay. Nobody else is thinking about what's good for Yale Law School. And if you think about it, okay, so what YLS grads are in the race? You have J.D. Vance, and by the way, that's also J.D. Vance. That was when he was at a party.
Oh yeah, that's him cross-dressing. I remember this picture.
Right, and there was all the not now these are the non-YLS grads in the race, and if you notice that all that YLS is like much better represented
Yeah.
in the Trump Vance case, and
True.
so again,
That's true.
yeah, and I would just point out there are people who don't believe this at Yale, and I call them the enemies within. It's Jason Stanley and Tim Snyder. And I don't think it's fair that they're not doing what's good for one of the units in their university. Okay,
are they the enemy within?
They are the enemy within. Kid,
Isn't that like a John McWhorter phase?
Who Jason's?
No, enemies within. The enemy within.
Oh, the phrase. The phrase. I think that's every fascist dictator.
Every fascist person decides to say that. Yes, fair enough.
Okay, so here's another thing. I'm a big fan of inflation.
Are you? I heard that it's gone down, though.
No, I know, but if Trump, that's exactly the point. If Trump gets hired, I mean, if he's elected,
you're hoping to bring inflation back.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of inflation. Right, demon attacks, right? So demon attacks have gone up hugely over the Trump under the Biden-Harris. And this demon, the one that attacked.
Yeah, we all know. We're all familiar with him. The one that went to Russia briefly and went to a supermarket.
Yeah, and it was so evil that the demon made a mark that looked like a woman he was like having an affair with. That's how bad it was, how evil the demon was. Now, I just wanted to say that a lot of people are going to say, Scott, you don't believe in demons. And of course, I don't believe in demons. But I just want to point out
I think you might believe in demons. You're I don't believe in demons. But at like YLS, for God's sake.
But let me just say that the philosophical point is that if I don't believe in demons, why am I worried about demon attacks? And it's because the demons don't care whether I believe in them or not.
Right.
So, like the fact that I don't think they exist.
Faculty academic lunches. This is just FYI. I'm like.
But yeah. No, demons don't care if you, it's person. Like, facts don't care about your feelings, or the climate doesn't care if you believe in it.
That's exactly right. Demons don't care about your feelings or my feelings or my beliefs.
The scratches on Tucker's chest are there whether he believes in the demon or not.
Right. So, argue with that logic. Okay? See, if Sarah were here, she would know what to say.
Right.
Here's my next point. Engagement. Who's better for engagement? Trump, if he wins, or Harris? Obviously, Trump. It'll be much better for my Twitter account. Blue Sky, it probably will increase my Blue Sky account, even though I don't use it. So that's, again, when we think about my followers, I think we're really going for Trump here. This one, I'm sure everyone thought this would be my first reason, but actually is a bit lower down. But this is, as Elon pointed out, is if you want humanity to make it to Mars, you should vote for Trump.
Yeah, are you sure about that? Because
no, I'm sure he said that. He definitely said it. Look,
no, he definitely said it, but I'm just not sure about the premise, because, if Trump gets in, he's going to assign Elon to cut $2 trillion from the federal government and cause a lot of temporary pain and suffering, as Elon said, and that's going to take a lot of Elon's time and energy, and maybe he won't have the stamina to also be running the Mars mission at the same time.
No, if Elon said it, he'd do it. The guy always does what he says.
Do you think there are demons on Mars?
I don't. First of all, do you see any demons? No, that's the first thing. Second thing
But
is,
it's
look
really
how beautiful
red.
Mars is. Yeah, look, that's true. It's really red, but look how awesome Mars looks. Don't you
Like the
want to vote for
scratches
a
on
president
Tucker's
who's going to
chest.
help us get there?
No,
Okay,
it's a good point.
Yeah, next one. Okay, and I think this is oh, can you
We can see it, we can't hear it.
did everyone see that?
We can see it, but we
Yes,
can't hear it.
Okay.
The
But we
demon
just
was
see
making
the
Trump do the
simulating of the sex
microphone.
act.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know exactly what the symbols were
Symbolism
there,
was.
but I found it very compelling.
Did you find out in the back
was
of the
it
bus
extra
in seventh
compelling
grade?
because
I-
Ayatollah Khamenei was right underneath Trump when he did it? Look, you look down from Trump and it's like, I can't tell if it's Nasrallah or Khamenei, but it's, you know.
There's so
No,
many
I know, but
privacy HIPAA violations happening in Scott's For You more videos like right now.
We are joined at
Hi,
this
Sarah
stage
Longwell.
by the estimable Sarah Longwell.
Thanks for joining our rodeo.
Are you guys doing a PowerPoint? Is there a PowerPoint presentation?
We're going through Scott's PowerPoint of the reasons he likes Trump and the reasons he's thinking of voting against him, just outlining his thinking. I'm not sure you've missed much in the way of logic here.
If you're wondering if you're viewing it in presenter mode versus non-presenter mode, the answer is yes. So don't worry about it.
Right. There are more demon attacks under the Biden administration than previously.
Yeah.
It would be good for the Yale Law School to have, and good for going to Mars and good for Scott's Twitter engagement. These are the arguments for voting for Trump.
And this one, of course, this. I wasn't sure. I was wondering Sarah, can you argue me down from this reason?
In argue you down that Trump filleting the microphone is a reason to vote for him or against him.
Yeah, that's right. Like, so I found it a very kind of compelling, though somewhat hard to explain closing argument. Is there something you can say to me or like loved ones that to say that this is like not important?
I honestly, actually, I don't think it's important. I think of all the things that Trump has done, his oral sex on the microphone is like among the least offensive.
Oh, no, actually, these are all good things, not bad things.
Okay. You're saying because he's a giver? Is that what you're arguing?
Here's the next one. How bad was smallpox really? So
you're gonna have to walk us through that one, Scott.
Oh, because he was gonna he's gonna get rid of the vaccines.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I see.
That's where you were going.
RFK in charge.
Yeah, and also I just wanted to point out also, do we need teeth now that we have AI? We don't need fluoride in the water either.
Right.
Ooh,
that's such an important
Sarah,
point.
You're all silent. I gotcha. You bet you never got somebody like this.
I picked up my phone and started looking at it because I didn't know what was happening here.
I think that the rumors are that Trump is going to get rid of fluoride in the water.
I understand everything Scott's saying. I just I've lost the plot on like what it is we're doing here.
You are weighing in on Scott, who is the last undecided voter, and trying to coax him through like you did in the 2020 election, if you will remember.
But Scott, I want to understand.
Don't
all of this seems like you're a decided voter, that you're going to vote for Trump. What's the arguments on the other side?
Oh, that'll be really it will really, really make Elon Musk upset. That's one of them. That's like a big reason. Number two is I don't want a lot of the people that I like, in like academia and journalism and politics to get arrested for their views. That's another one. So there's a couple of things like that, but can I please get through my reasons why I like Trump so you can rebut them?
Sure.
Yeah, these are here's the thing, okay? More than half of Trump's cabinet supports his reelection. Okay? Everyone says, oh, they don't, the people who know him best don't endorse him.
I actually had not seen that visual. That is insane. That's crazy.
This is false. I'm sorry, this is fake news.
Really?
Yeah, Bill, hold on a second. Let me look at these names.
This is the Washington Post.
Okay. I mean, I guess you could argue they're not like opposed to his reelection.
They don't actively support.
Yeah, I'm just saying that more than half of his cabinet supports his reelection.
I guess you are saying it's a positive.
Yeah.
Does Mick Mulvaney support his reelection? I don't think he does.
I mean, that might change things.
All right, next reason.
Oh, next reason? Okay, the international endorsements.
Sir,
okay.
You've forgotten what it's like to not have fun anymore.
Yeah. Right. So how many leaders have come out and endorsed Kamala Harris? But
that's a good question.
Yeah, okay. Here's another one. Celebrity endorsements. There's Mike Tyson, Hulk Hogan, Lou Ferrigno, and Jeffrey Epstein.
I did see that that Richard Spencer, the alt-right guy, endorsed Kamala Harris today and said he'd voted for her.
Again,
and
we'll add that to the positive side. Mobster endorsements. So Sammy the Bull Gravano, do you remember this? Said that Donald Trump was incorruptible. So I just want to.
He would.
Hello.
He would know.
So I mean, I don't know. I'm finding these impressive.
So I sat in back of a mobster who was pro-Trump at Trump's trial, and he really looked like a mobster. And then I looked at the list of people who had endorsed, who were like the Trump campaign helpfully listed the people who were sitting in back of Trump at his trial every day. And it was like, there was one guy who had like clearly a mobster name. And it turns out he was had been the president of the New York Hells Angels. And he was in fact like a mobster. But he really looked the part.
Yeah. I would just say that this kind of public-private collaboration that Trump does with organized crime, I think, is kind of innovative. So then there's Peanut the squirrel, and I have to just say this really gets me, the whole Peanut the squirrel thing. And what Bill Ackman said, I think, is so true, which is if they can take Peanut, next they'll take your child. And I really hate.
Did he really say that? Is that
Bill
true?
Ackman tweet. Yes, it's true.
Great.
So
okay, we've lost the plot. As a person who has
what do you mean?
Fostered two.
What do you mean we've lost the plot? Wait, what do you mean we've lost the plot?
Nothing. I feel really bad for Sarah Longwell at the moment. Like Sarah Longwell's like, why am I here? What's going on? I'm doing back to back like things, and I
actually saving America. And I
actually saving
agreed to
America.
come on this to listen to this nutcase vamp.
Basically Ben was like, "Hey, Sarah, will you do this thing?" And she's like, "Sure." And she's here. She's like, "I'm here in my turtleneck. I'm like really like my zip up sweater. I'm great. I've got my college diploma behind me. I'm a real person." And like Scott is like putting together his like PowerPoint presentation.
All right, so
No
we're at
offense,
this point, we're
Scott.
just going to turn it over to Sarah to interview Scott, like a focus group.
If you were going to focus group Scott like an undecided voter, what do you think you'd maybe ask him?
Can I just say something, Sarah? Are you and your team normally this mean to the people in the focus group?
Yes.
I just was curious. Like, do you normally invite them and then just humiliate them in front of hundreds of people?
No, we collect what they say and then we humiliate them in front of a national audience.
Yeah, including us.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, so the difference here is I'm humiliating myself as opposed to you doing it. Okay, I got that.
No, in fact, the thing about the focus groups is that everybody's opinion is valid. We don't, there's no wrong answers. We are just there to hear what people think. And you know what? You're not the last undecided.
You are very respectful. You're extremely respectful, unlike your friend Ben Wittes and whatever the other two girls' names are. So
it's under my face, Scott. One syllable.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't even bother to look.
What's interesting to me about listening to Scott is that actually with undecided voters, there's some hallmarks of an undecided voter, things that they say almost universally, and you haven't said them because you're sort of doing this PowerPoint. You've actually got quite specific views. Typically, you hear somebody who's undecided at this point saying something like, I know I need to choose the lesser of two evils, but I'm not sure yet which one is the lesser of two evils. And they would be undecided mainly because they think both are bad. And so they would be able to tell you not which is good, but like what's bad about both. And this is not an accident. This is especially true of people who live in swing states who have just had $1 billion of negative advertising dumped on their heads. And so the only thing they know about both candidates are the worst things about both candidates.
Oh, I see. So the big mistake was I was giving pros on each side.
That's right.
But what you really have to do is give cons to the other side for each side.
Exactly. Negative polarization is the defining way in which people think about this, right? So
okay, could we do the following thing? Could we take like maybe a 2-hour break, do this again in about 2 hours, and I'll change the PowerPoint?
No. I have to go on Wolf Blitzer, which is just going to be a very similar experience.
He looks a lot like this is like a test. Like Scott kind of looks like Wolf Blitzer if you squint and also shrink those little tiny windows down. He looks like the hologram that they used to put up of Wolf Blitzer while he was like reporting live from like the election thing, if you remember those days. But I am wondering,
can you give Wolf Blitzer a message from us?
No.
Yes.
I think I speak for all of us when I say that you should communicate to Wolf Blitzer that CNN isn't funny enough. They don't look like they're having any fun up there.
It's true. When I go on, I usually ask to be paired with Scott Jennings so that I can lose my mind and create good television, the kind of television where
you get banned from cable news.
Yeah, he can make a really pathetic kind of like, oh, did Trump have dinner with a white supremacist? Well, what about the anti-Semitic kid on Columbia's campus? What about that? And when I say, well, Scott, let's not elect that kid president, he thinks that is me being bullying and smug, and therefore that is why he has to vote for Trump. So it's interesting. Another thing, Scott, I'll tell you is interesting right now is a lot of people aren't voting for Trump, at least the way that they're explaining it to me is not voting for Trump because of something they like about Trump. They don't like the people who are who don't like Trump. They find our accusations against Trump to be annoying. And that means that they have to vote for Trump.
So I don't know how to tell you this, but Scott Shapiro is actually Scott Jennings, but in a Scott Shapiro AI mask filter. And so it's actually like, ooh, booyah. Like, actually, you've been debating that the last undecided voter, Scott Jennings, Scott Shapiro. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah, there's actually a Halloween aspect to this whole thing.
No, but
So,
I actually, can I ask a really quick, serious question, Ben? I just want to say about what you just said. So what is this thing that you think that basically that there is, you're saying that you think that there is essentially a just 100% pure tribalism of when they don't like you, when you don't like them, they don't like you back. That's literally what you're feeling.
Well, no, this was I was talking about Scott Jennings wrote an actual piece yesterday about why he was voting for Trump. And mainly his reasons were that anti-Trumpers, really the never Trumpers specifically, had such significant TDS and were being so mean to him that he had to support Trump. And it was like a Taylor Swift moment, look what you made me do. And
it's
I
kind of like Scott and The Enemy Within, right? Jason Stanley and Tim Snyder.
I was literally just putting in a new slide 22, saying another reason to vote for Trump is that all my friends are being really mean to me right now.
No, the one who nailed this early was John Mulaney in his horse in the hospital routine, where he said, well, if there's a horse in a hospital, then I'm going to say the N-word on TV. And, and that's kind of the same logic, right?
Which is meaning bad logic?
Yes. Meaning if there's something wacky going on, then all the rules don't apply and I can kind of do whatever I want.
Can I ask Sarah a question, which is that so you're definitely the it person for this election. There's no question about it. You're the one that everyone wants to hear from. Is it been fun, or has it been too much? Is it you would be happy to have this over with? By the way, it meaning this show, obviously you would, but I mean the election.
So I'll say a couple things. One, I think that the bulwark writ large has been I do think we've had a great cycle in terms of people feeling like we're a good place to go for information. So I don't know that it's me specifically so much as the broader publication.
You're I am one of the three trailblazing people at that place. Yeah, you're doing an incredible job.
But I'm super proud of the bulwark and the work that it's done. I do think it did become clear to me at some point that the focus group podcast had become a place where a lot of political types were listening. And that made me nervous about being a central place where conventional wisdom could start to emanate from. And I took the pressure of that has led me to try to do a lot more of being I can't tell you guys who's going to win. And also I can tell you if they win, why, what people were saying. But I did feel some sense of responsibility now to make sure that I was being really faithful to what I was hearing from the voters, and not, because a lot of times reporters call me and they want to wedge the voters into their preferred narrative. And I would say towards the end of this cycle, I kind of stopped responding to a lot of reporters. I'm sorry about that, everybody, but I just didn't want. It's not what they're for. It's not what the focus groups are for, is to become a predictive tool. I will make a prediction that I think Kamala Harris is going to win because of women, but like I'm not going to put that on the focus groups. That's just my tummy. That's just what I think. And it makes me nervous that people give it more weight because they know how many voters I listen to, because at the end of the day, the voters are saying like the things that have been out there now. Like if people are backsliding towards Trump, it's because of the economy. But women also hate him, like, and swing voters hate him and find him repellent. And they were not going to vote for Joe Biden. Like Joe Biden had really the Democratic coalition super falling apart with Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris reassembled it with like shocking speed and alacrity. And that has been good news. And then she ran right to the center. And I will say there's a part of me that worries a little bit that if Kamala Harris loses, that I will be one of the people that people are like, well, I think a lot of people were following this idea that who they needed to reach out to was these disaffected Republicans, and like she over-indexed on them, like with the Liz Cheney stuff. You know, I think that will end up being one of the criticisms. Now, everybody was looking at the same data that showed that the late undecideds were among these disaffected Republicans who don't like Trump, but also aren't Democrats. And so that's why they did it. But yeah, anyway, I'm aware that the audience for my show has gotten much larger this year, and that it is filled with reporters and producers. And I try to be mindful of that and not let it be super conventional wisdom-y. But it's funny to hear things I say on the show start to like work into.
It is it's a real deep state. I noticed this when I worked at the Talking Points Memo, because I see like the chats circulate with something that was being heard, like the chats and like people's like text messages and Skype and like things like that. And it'd be like something on like, and then like 4 days later, it would be in Maddow. It would be a headline in Maddow, and it would be something in the New York Times. And I was like, oh, this is a giant circle jerk. This is just like a giant, like, this is just.
But this is, but
like,
I want to say something else. And I say this at the risk of embarrassing Sarah, and in which case, you know, she can be embarrassed or whatever. I met Sarah in the summer of 2017 when she was completely out in the wilderness. I mean, like, you know, was leaving the firm that she had worked for because she wasn't kind of enough of a Republican anymore to be there, had kind of walked away from her entire career, and was in this process, which has now, it's so substantial that people don't even notice it anymore, of taking the entire Never Trump movement on her own shoulders and saying, this is what we're going to do. And it started with, you know, like the Bill Kristols of the world. But, you know, like, it is very, very hard to overstate the impact of Sarah Longwell on, and when you see Liz Cheney up there on a stage with Kamala Harris, a big part, and Sarah's there, of course, so that's, you know, that's kind of visible. But there's just like, it is very hard to overstate the role of this person in reformulating the Democratic coalition to include a substantial group of current and former conservatives and to speak to them. And by the way, like, there's, you know, hate comes her way from every quarter as a result of this, because there are like a lot of libs who don't
not
want
this
to.
One. We love her. We stand Sarah Longwell.
No, but just
haters gonna hate though.
There's a lot of haters, and you know, and like the Bulwark itself. I'm old enough to remember when Sarah originally envisioned the Bulwark, it was not as an organ of the Never Trump conservative movement that would become sort of a center-right, center-left coalition. it was as like could we build a Drudge Report like aggregator for pro-democracy stuff? And I remember consulting with her about this. There's a shitload of trial and error in this project, and I just think the magnitude of the accomplishment, and I say this not knowing like what's going to happen tomorrow, and I'm sure, Sarah, that you're right, that a lot of people will drag you if it goes badly. I want to say right up front, I think Kamala Harris has run a great campaign, and I will not drag her if she loses. And I think the role that you guys, and you in particular, have played in the creation of this movement is just astonishing. And I've been close enough to it that I've watched it without really, I'm sort of part of the Bulwark extended cinematic universe, but not the internal cinematic universe. It's just an extraordinary thing that you've done. Anyway,
thanks, buddy.
Since you mentioned that you expect blowback if it doesn't go well, I just want to say that before any of the blowback happens, fuck you all. If you're dragging Sarah Longwell after this election, whatever the problem was, it was not Sarah.
Sarah, can I ask a question that kind of brings up kind of something that you've mentioned and that Ben has mentioned, and a lot of my friends who are former GOP and are never Trumpers have talked about, which is what happens after this election for people? Trump is going to be gone or around for 4 more years. So in any event,
going underground,
he's
man.
He's a dying entity, though. Right? His establishment will be it'll be 4 years, or it'll be he's not in the race anymore. I don't know. Who knows what will happen? I feel like a lot of people don't have a home politically and have felt that way for a while. And so I'm just kind of really curious, right now I hear kind of and I hear most of my friends that are never Trumpers, and voting for Dems, they're still feeling very strongly they're not Democrats. And I'm interested in if that's kind of what you're also feeling.
No, I mean, look, I think Kamala Harris has run a campaign in which she has explicitly invited disaffected center-right people into the coalition. And I think that that's been going on for a while. And I think that Democrats have been smart in terms of, during the Trump years, one of the best things that happened is that they built a really strong bench of pragmatic politicians like Wes Moore and Abigail Spanberger and Alyssa Slotkin and Mikey Sherrill and, Gretchen Whitmer and Josh Shapiro. There's just a really good group now of people who have, of Democrats specifically, that I think a lot of people who are disaffected on the center right can vote for. And I think that Kamala Harris has given people a good reason to vote for them. That being said, look, I think that
they can't run center right though when next time there's a primary. One of the beautiful things is Kamala didn't have the primary. This is crazy.
That's right.
She was the far left of the primary.
Yeah. Look, here's the thing. First of all, Trump's not going anywhere, and the Republican Party's not going back to a party that Mitt Romney could exist in. Okay, there might be a less dangerous version of the Republican Party in its future, but it is going to be a much more populist, isolationist, sort of working class party. And that is where it's going. That's where the voters are, because there's been a lot of pretty accelerated political realignment going on during the last, almost decade of Donald Trump's existence. And so I think that, but if Donald Trump loses soundly, if he is soundly repudiated, I still don't think he's going anywhere. Even if he loses, he's still there. He is the Republican Party is like a Trump lifestyle brand now. His family owns and runs the RNC. And so they will use it in some way, and he will continue to dominate it. He will say that things were stolen. I don't know how all of this is going to go, but if it's anywhere close, he'll never give up the reins. And frankly, there's nobody strong enough in the Republican Party, either morally or politically, who's ready to challenge him in a really significant way. Like, I think that the Republican Party, like Donald Trump is going to have to die before the Republican Party will be able to move on from him in a way that's like really meaningful.
Jim McGuckin, we've got time for one question, and it's yours.
Well, I just want to say that I love you all. You're all in the same spot where you left me. You're in your hammock. Kate's drinking wine. Scott, you're fuzzy like you were 3 years ago. Okay. And Sarah, you, like I said, you guys have done the Lord's work. I call you G.O.D. That stands for Guardian of Democracy.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. And anyway, I don't really have a question. I was going to ask Scott about AI, but that's so dark and grim right now. And I myself have gone over to the dark side.
As opposed to the election.
Wait, you say we're talking
What?
about the Trump
No,
election
the
tomorrow,
AI and the
AI is
election.
dark and grim.
Yeah, no, I was going to say how AI has influenced the election, but that's a complicated question, and I don't know whether you want to tackle it or not.
Yeah, I would just say that AI helped me put together the pitch deck, and that may I worry that because Sarah has not rebutted each and every one of my arguments, that there are people in the audience that may actually vote for Trump tomorrow. I'm just worried about that. I'm sorry. How like inviting Sarah on here might have undone everything that she's done for the past couple months, years. But anyway,
Dave, I take it back. You get the last question today.
Well, thanks everybody.
Oh my God, as I live and breathe, Tom McGuckin and David Batts in the same. So great to see you guys.
Well, I just wanted to wish you all pre-election greetings and blessings. My plan tomorrow is I'm actually a little poll worker in the state of Virginia, so I'll be greeting voters and
good job
and helping them check in and all kinds of exciting stuff. But it's super great to see all of you.
Make sure you get ready for hand-to-hand combat with the election watchers. I'm joking, just for clarity's sake. Look, you are all great Americans. It is spectacular to see you all. Sarah Longwell, you have a 5 o'clock, so we're going to actually end this so that you can get to it. Scott, you've got like 12 hours to make your decision. I hope
it's going to be an all-nighter.
It's going to be an all-nighter. Make sure you ask ChatGPT who to vote for. Tell it your factors and see what it tells you to do. Jim, Dave, may the wind be at your back and may you be halfway to heaven before the devil knows you're dead. We are not allowed to have fun anymore, but Kate, we are allowed to be muted.
Were they pirates? Like, what was that? Was that like a pirate salute? Like, what?
No, it's an old Irish. It's an old.
We're not allowed. Okay, whatever. We're not allowed to have fun anymore. But we are allowed to forever have the liberty to vote how we want. For now, and at least for tomorrow, hopefully. And it's like, as long as your votes weren't burned in all of those ballot boxes in Washington, and whatever.
and we are allowed to have the second annual quadrennial Scott Bewilders Sarah Longwell with his thought process show about how he's going to vote.
Yeah.
And who knows, we may be back 4 years from now doing it again.
Yeah, I might have to go watch, I might have to go listen to Ben and Sarah do the French Village, to clear myself after this.
Hey man, the French Village podcast will forever stand as one of the great bonding experiences of the COVID era. It's, and hanging out with Sarah and Eve Gaumont, who's probably here somewhere, and the cast of the French Village at the French Embassy. I mean, that was almost worth all of COVID. Keep the faith, people.
I agree.
Get people out to fucking vote tomorrow. and let's bury the monster.
All right. Love you guys.